Hello and welcome back to the Dandelion Diaries. Today I am hopping on the trend of doing a Techo Kaigi, and if you didn't know what that translates to, it roughly translates to like a planner meeting with yourself. So I have all of my planners and journals that I'm using this year in front of me, and I'm going to take you through kind of each one and if I'm going to be keeping it, like keeping up with it, or if I'm going to be just putting it aside, and then kind of a little bit what my 2024 plans are as well, and like what I'm going to be doing with that. Again, I know it's like kind of early to be fully committing to anything for 2024, but I have talked about my common planner and I will get to that one when we get there. But for now, let's just start with a stack and move our way across. I have way too many books here, and that's part of what this process is going to be. So starting off, I will introduce this to the channel. I've talked about this a little bit. This is my Hobonichi Weeks in the Yamazakura cover. I'm not going to open this because this is like my Dandelion Diaries planner. It's what I use to keep track of like the videos I'm going to make, stuff I'm going to post on social media, but whether it be like Instagram or Facebook. I have it completely set up entirely for the Dandelion Diaries. Nothing else goes in here except for the stuff for the Dandelion Diaries. And that is one thing that I tend to do with all of my planners, is each planner has a specific purpose. I don't really do well with only one book, so I like to have my thoughts kind of separated out into various books. Think of it like opening tabs in a browser, I guess. Like each tab is designated to some kind of task, and that's kind of like how my planners are. As for keeping up with this one, it's obviously a yes. I mean, I do plan on growing the Dandelion Diaries as far as I can take it. I have plans for opening up some things as well, hopefully later this year. And using this Hobonichi Weeks has been really beneficial in terms of keeping myself organized and having my kind of like thoughts and plans laid out as far as it'll go. And since this is a spring Hobonichi Weeks, I can actually plan this all the way into next year, which brings me to the 2024 aspect of this. I will have a planner for the Dandelion Diaries in 2024, but I don't know if I'm going to be keeping this through April, which is when it ends, or if I'm going to be picking something new up for 2024 in the beginning of January. I'll leave y'all in suspense for this one, but this is definitely going to be staying with the group. Next, we have another planner that I have used consistently on this channel, and this is my Hobonichi Weeks in the Bunnies cover, and this is my garden planner that I have been using for 2023. I absolutely love this thing. It has been fabulous in terms of keeping myself organized with like to-do lists on the side, tasks on the daily, and then in the back I have been using it as like a way to track what I'm doing monthly, as well as a weekly kind of diary entry of how my garden's doing or if anything exciting happened. I have been using a Hobonichi Weeks as my garden planner for 2 years now. It might be 3. I'd have to go check my shelf. And it has been very beneficial in helping me see the things I'm growing, how long it's taking to grow things, and so on and so forth. Next, we have another Hobonichi Weeks. I'm a huge Hobonichi fan, and this is probably the first year that I've delved outside of Hobonichi in a while, but this was a Hobonichi Weeks in the fresh green cover. I have put it in this Mina Frahonen Anemone zip wallet, and also I ended up printing off a Coffee Monsters Co. digital and putting it outside the green cover. I can't stand the brightness of this. It's just too bright. But this is my health planner, so this is where I've been tracking all of my health-related tasks, meals, anything like that on a weekly. I've tracked my fasting time, meal planning. I've tracked my like stats, basically like any kind of trackers in here. And then also any kind of information regarding like my run stats or workouts, shows I've been watching, books I've been reading, my meditation practice, all of that kind of good stuff is in here. And I do plan on continuing this for 2023. As for 2024, I don't know if I'm going to continue a health planner. I'm not a sick individual. I mainly just wanted to use this to see stats about my life, and while it has been fun to keep this up and look back at my trackers and things and kind of learn more about myself, I would say that it's been tedious to keep track of. Like, writing down every single thing and updating it multiple times a day has been really tedious. So I don't know if I would keep up with this in 2024, but I will finish this book for 2023 because I think it's cool to have a whole year of my health in one book. The next book I have in my lineup was a recent edition that I talked about, and this is my Spanish planner. So I have a goal to be fluent in Spanish by the end of 2023, and I have been doing pretty good, I would say, in keeping up with some things of this. I've been writing in Spanish in it completely. I've been trying to keep updated with my weekly stuff. I'm going to be honest, it's difficult to update because I'm not fluent. So writing everything in Spanish is like an extra task. However, this has been incredibly beneficial in terms of my Spanish language practice. It's keeping me accountable. It's helping me learn new words and also kind of keep in mind where I'm at with my Spanish practice. If anything, it's more motivating because I have a creative outlet to practice my Spanish. And I will definitely be finishing this in 2023. Since this is undated, if I get to a point where I just can't handle the stress of updating this, or I break off of my practice, then obviously, since it's undated, I can just pick it back up whenever I start again. However, my goal is to finish this for 2023, since the end of 2023 is when I want to become fluent, or be fluent by the end of 2023. If I were to not meet that goal, I'm not fluent by the end of 2023, I would definitely be picking up another undated planner. I don't know if I would stick with the B6 size, which is what this one is, or if I would go with something smaller, like a week size, or something like that. But this has definitely been a helpful addition, and I will be continuing this for 2023. 2024 is a maybe if I don't end up becoming fluent and I still need more practice. So yes, that's it for Spanish. Next book we have here is my Archer in Olive A5 journal. I'm not going to open this one again. This is what I write love letters in. So my boyfriend and I have a journal each that we write letters to each other, and this has been only this year, only for 2023, and I think I'm just going to keep filling this journal up until it's completely full, and that will probably lean into 2024, if not longer, just because, sometimes I write a lot, sometimes I don't write a lot. But I think this is such a cool idea, and I have to give him kudos because he came up with it, and the fact that we each are going to have a space that we can read, each other's thoughts and emotions is really special to me. So I will definitely be continuing this for 2023 and into 2024, but I shouldn't need another book. I'm just going to be continuing using the same book. Next, we have another recent addition to the channel, at least, and kind of into my life, and this is a reading journal. So this is a Magic of I A5 journal in the fawn brown color. And I did a flip through and kind of explanation of what I did with this and how I'm using it. But I'm definitely going to continue this for 2023. It's been really cool to kind of get my thoughts collected on the books that I've read. And then also little stats and stuff about the book, like the author notes and different genres that I've been reading, and if it's a paperback or a ebook or whatever. And I definitely will continue this for the rest of 2023 and into 2024 because this book is over 100 pages and there's no way I'm going to be reading 100 books this year, maybe next year, but I think I'm happy with the progress that I've made so far. But definitely going to be keeping a reading journal for the rest of 2023 and also into 2024. The next book I have here, I've also talked about a little bit. This is my Magic of I planner. So this is the 2023 Magic of I A5 planner. I honestly stopped using this back in April. So the information in the beginning of this book is fabulous. It is amazing the wealth of knowledge that is in this book when it comes to learning how to read an aspectarian, learning how to measure astrology, anything like that, and relate it to your life. And I think it's wonderful. I do love certain things in this planner, like the different knowledge it has in the beginning. But to me, that's all this was for me. It was a way to learn more about astrology, learn more about how the moon works with my body. It does have a really cool tracker page in it where you can track the period with your moon phases. And then it also had more information about mushrooms for this year. That was her focus. Last year it was fauna and flora. So I think it's a really good book in terms of information, but when it comes to like let me get to a blank spread. Here we go. When it comes to like the actual calendar pages in a weekly style, I just can't use this. It's too small for what I want to use it for. I could write a short entry in this and that's about it. And so any kind of planning aspect is really difficult for me in this book. And for the price point, I don't see myself buying another one. If I just wanted a book that I could write down solely like my, thoughts and meditations, maybe I would use this again. She does offer a pocket size in this as well, but I feel like I do better with my blank notebooks when it comes to writing stuff about like my thoughts, emotions, tarot, any kind of journal entries. And I'd rather just keep one notebook versus like two when it comes to the same type of thought process. But this was a really good planner for me in the beginning of the year when I was learning a whole lot more about astrology and just keeping up with it. It is a beautiful book. It is gorgeous with the illustrations that it has. It is beautiful with the big pages that you can use for like moon journaling. I just wish on the weekly pages it was a different layout and that I had more space. But overall, the entirety of the information in this book is great. I just don't see myself using it again for 2023 or picking up a new one for 2024. And that's part of this planner conversation is I have to get to a point where like when are we going to stop certain things and when are we going to pick up new things that are going to work better for us. And this one it's not going to work for me anymore. It's a beautiful book and I have appreciated all the knowledge inside of it, but I'm not going to be continuing this one for 2023. The next book I want to talk about is my ink swatch journal. So I haven't really showed this on the channel yet. It is a little A6 notebook by Sterling Ink. I've been collecting all of my little stickers in the back. I have my front set up with my ink washi tapes. And then I have basically swatched every single ink in my collection that I've ever tried in this book. And oh boy, I didn't realize I had so many until I swatched all of them. And man, I was kind of impressed with the amount of inks that I've tried. In the back, I do my collections. So like in the front, I have my inks. So inks are going this direction. And then in the back, I have the different fountain pens that I have and collections that way, I guess. So I'm going from both sides of this book to meet in the middle at some point. I will definitely have more inks than pens just because that's the type of person that I am. I'm a user, not a collector. I definitely like to use all of my pens and I have a rotation for all of them. But I'm excited to continue this for 2023. This isn't really a planner, so it doesn't necessarily fall into the Techo Kaigi kind of talk, but it is a journal that I pick up very regularly, and I definitely want to continue until it is absolutely full, because I think having a full book of just ink swatches is such a cool concept. And I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of inks, well, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of inks to try, and I definitely want to continue trying new ones, new colors, and make it through my collection, and then also, try out new pens when I get to that point in my life. But I definitely will continue using this bad boy. The next is one of the A5 Hobonichi kind of I don't know, supplemental notebooks, I think is what these are called. I have two actually here, so I guess I could talk about them at the same time. One is a Perpetual notebook. So this is one that I like to put in every single planner. I made these at the beginning of this year. It has like ink swatches in it, or not ink swatches, but like marker swatches and pen swatches of ones that I've used. And it also has sort of my own transcribed astrological references in here where I talked about my experience with the different zodiacs, my own notes, plus notes from the Magic of I, and then also the other kind of aspectarian type things with the planets, nodes, asteroids, so forth, houses, moon phases, all of that kind of good stuff. So I made this as a perpetual book that I can move from planner to planner to planner to planner to planner for years to come. And I don't ever plan on getting rid of this. If it falls apart, I'll make a new one, but I have really enjoyed using this as like a reference. It fits in the back of my A5 common planner, also in the A5 Hobonichi, even in my A5 journal. Yeah, this isn't going anywhere, and I think it's a really good addition. If you don't have something like this, I would highly recommend adding something like this to your lineup, especially if you use pretty much the same paper in all of your books. Much like me, I love the Tomoe River paper, and it's one of the main papers that I use, so that's why I wanted to make this. The other little notebook I have here is my spending book. So every year I'd like to have a small notebook where I keep track of the year's spending, whether it be between myself and my boyfriend, myself and my family, any kind of expenses I like to write down in here, and that way I have it all in one book. And when it comes to the end of the year, when I'm doing my taxes or any kind of budget information, I have it all in one place. I don't have to flip through a bunch of receipts or papers or anything like that. It's just all right here with the dates, prices, amounts, the order numbers even sometimes. It's all just right here. So yeah, both of these books are staying for 2023 and also will be staying in 2024, and I'll make a new spending book for 2024 as well. So these aren't going anywhere. The next book I want to talk about is another journal, so not necessarily a planner, but this is my ink journal. And if you've watched any of my ink explorations, you will recognize this book, at least in terms of my giant circle swatches, which were inspired by Leanne Likes. And flipping through this is so satisfying, getting to see all of the different things that I have tried out and also swatched. It's been really a pleasure to have this and be able to use it to see which inks that I want to go with for my next month, or see what I have left in my collection, things like that. And I have really been enjoying using this. I will say I will continue this book until it is done with, but after that I don't think I'm going to make a new one, just because I think one would be enough. I've really enjoyed swatching everything for you guys, and I'm excited to continue these swatches until I run out of crawler families. But so far this has been quite enjoyable, and I will be continuing this for 2023, but not into 2024 most likely, unless we just don't make it through all of the inks by the end of the year. But I just want to have this one book as like a memory of all the different inks that I've tried, because the other little book, I'm gonna keep this for my ink swatches for forever and keep adding to this, but I don't think I'll need to start a new one of these for 2024. Next, let's move on to my last journal. This is like my Dear Diary kind of thing. So again, I'm not going to flip through it, but this cover is the Hobonichi Tout in Celeste Blue. It is a leather cover. I love this cover. I will probably pick up another one if they come out with a color that I like. I just really like this blue color, and it's so delicious to look at. I mainly keep all of my Sterling ink stickers in here, any kind of journal reflections, and then this is, like I said, more of a diary style where I write out different prompts and things of what I'm writing about. And I can show you, I guess, like I decorate it with different stickers and just make it more fun to use for me, just on things that I want to write about. But this is from the washi tape shop, by the way, and I absolutely love the washi tape shop, and I do have an affiliate code for them. It's Danielle10 if you want 10% off. But the journal is here to stay. I've had one of these every single year. I will continue to have one every single year. I will say this year I have filled up a plain Hobonichi notebook much faster than years prior. So I will likely be doing a thicker notebook next year, or maybe having two, but this is definitely staying in the lineup. It's staying for 2023, 24 years down the line. I love having a book like this where I can just write out all of my thoughts in like a Dear Diary type format, and it's solely for me. Nobody else gets to look at it, and it's a very personal book that I really enjoy having. All right, now to the big boys. I have a common planner here and then a Hobonichi cousin. So this is the hardest part for me, at least in terms of 2023. So I'm a huge fan of having everything in the year, like memory-wise, in one book. And I have been using the Hobonichi cousin since January, and it is now almost August. And so I have over 6 months, almost 7 months in this book. The common planner, I was late to the game, so I didn't start it until April. And so I'm struggling with keeping up with both. So it's the same information that I'm putting in both books. The common planner allows me a much larger amount of freedom in terms of use, in that the back pages are solely blank and I can do whatever I want with them. I've been doing dailies in them. I've been doing trackers in them. I've been doing washi swatches in them. It's been a great use of space. For the Hobonichi cousin, everything is 1 day a page, which has been great for most of the year, but I will say, in terms of keeping up with it, there are some days that I just don't want to write, which is one thing I like about the common planner. I have already talked about in previous videos that I'm going to be going with the common planner for 2024 for my main planner book, much like the Hobonichi cousin has been my main planner book for years prior. For the rest of 2023, as of this moment, I plan on keeping up with both of them, even though it takes me almost a double amount of time to put the same information in, right? If I get to a point that I just can't keep up with both, I'm going to keep up with the Hobonichi cousin because this one has way more information in it than the common planner does. And as much as that hurts me to say, because I love using the common planner and it is my plan for the next year, I need to go with what's going to be easier for me for 2023, and that is probably going to be just updating the cousin and leaving the common planner to be used as like test pages and things like that for what I plan to use it for 2024. I do enjoy having both of these. I do enjoy updating both of them, but there are days where it is just really hard to use both planners, and I need to have this conversation with myself. Like, that's the whole point, right? Like, this is a planner conversation. And at the end of that conversation, it's definitely going to be, if you had to pick one book for the rest of 2023, it's going to be the Hobonichi, because you've already put so much information and time and effort into this book. Now, all that being said, I still plan on updating both, and I still plan on enjoying both and having both at the end of the year, but when it comes down to it, I probably will only update the Hobonichi cousin if I grow tired of duplicating all of my information. Alright, so now that we've had our Techo Kaigi with myself, Danielle, and my 2023 planners, I do want to thank you guys so much for watching and the incredible amount of planners and books that I have accumulated for this year. I have always been a multi-book person, and this year's probably the most I have ever had in one sitting, which is a bit excessive, I'm sure. But in the next years to come, I'm still going to have multiple books just because that's how my brain works, and I hope to simplify this down quite a bit, which I already talked about. Since some of these will be continuing into 2024, and I will have some new books for the main planners that I use. If you're interested in more of the content that I make, I do also have an Instagram, and I will leave my handle on the screen. But as for now, thank you for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one, and hopefully I will be able to limit myself next year, because I think my arms are going to break if I hold all of these in one hand. But thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.